session 3, my bio is there. So if you have any questions in session 3, feel free to fill that out. I won't bore you with all those details, but if you have any questions in session 3, feel free to ask and then share it to the group board. And then my colleagues will ask you those questions as we go through. And so we will also answer those questions even after the conference, because we may not have enough time to cover everything. So the beauty of having a living conference is that it's living. So you can participate and continue to participate even after today. The interesting thing is we piloted this initiative in December last year, and 30% of our participants participated in the December Create conference after December. So I think that's really the joy of having something that's alive and that will continue to have impact even beyond today. So with that, we're just going to go into session 4, which is a topic of transforming the way we think about content. And so when we think about content traditionally, I'm going to start with a bit of a poll first, because it's fun. So for all of you, I hope that you've had a chance to have your digital companions. Gnowbe will be a digital companion for this conference. Let's just start with a poll. When do you think PowerPoint was founded? And I'd love to just hear your thoughts. And so feel free, for those of you who are joining, welcome. We're in session 4. And we are in the first poll. When was PowerPoint founded? Oh, we have a lot of 1974s. So no one, 1990, okay. Keep them coming. When was PowerPoint founded? For those of you, yeah, okay, interesting. All right, any more votes? Last minute votes? That last 30 seconds, coming once, going twice. All right, it looks like 1987 is winning the votes. And so I guess you guys have done some research, but in fact, it was 1987, nearly 40 years ago. So the actual concept was developed in 1984, but it was named PowerPoint in 1987. And so many of us, as if 500 million of us, have been using PowerPoint for nearly 40 years. And it's really interesting because we've been using this tool for a long time. And I imagine that all of us have a point of view that PowerPoint or similar tools like Google Slides, probably technology has evolved, maybe we've evolved as well, right? And then this thing called COVID happened a few years ago. And we got all really excited because we said, oh my gosh, we're all going to go digital now because we have COVID. But what actually happened? So we went into COVID and we had a lot of one-way communications tools we had used in the past. Back in the day, we had the chalkboard, then we went to whiteboards, and then we went to PowerPoint, which is about 40 years old. And then we had e-learning. And then what did we do with COVID? We all introduced Zoom and Google Meets and the like. And we patted ourselves on the back because we went digital. Yay, we all went digital. But the way that we were engaging with content didn't really evolve. We talked at people just using a digital video screen versus in person. And so I'm so excited to be here with all of you today, because I think we all may agree that maybe it's time for something better, something interactive, something that is more social, and something that is more measurable. So we're really excited that now in 2023, we're having this conversation. But we've, I think, felt the pain intuitively, but may not have ever thought of content in this way. And so just a quick question for all of you, since many of you are experts here as well. I'll just give everyone a moment to just jot down, what does it even mean to be interactive and high impact, especially when you're thinking about content creation? Just give everyone a moment to just reflect on that. I'm going to do it later. And I'm going to go to the group board because I would love to hear what you think. So I'm in session 4, so I'm just going to click ahead to session 4. There we go. No shares yet. All right. So who wants to be the brave one to share first? What does it mean to be interactive and high impact, especially as you're designing content? Oh, Julianne, the award for the first share. Oh, you shared and now it went away. Anyone else want to share? Oops, I will filter again. I'm showing you some tricks in terms of sessions. And we're living by doing, because we're experiencing what moving beyond a one-way conversation of me speaking at you, but we'd invite you to participate. So Julianne, to allow participants to engage in a number of different ways, high impact, new habits. Absolutely, I love that. Great. Siv, hi Siv. Generating insights based on inputs from a company. I love it. Audrey, actively learning, sucking them in. Absolutely. Love it. And it's really about two-way or even multi-way conversation. So in the span of a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 are interacting and engaging with each other in this conversation. And so this is beyond now, has gone beyond me talking, but a conversation that we can actually have to make it more high impact. And so the very simple way that we think about this at Gnowbe is called know, think, apply, share. So know would be a principle or something that we want to tell or teach or share, and then pausing and getting you to think. So the question that I asked, and that some of you have not typed your answer in because you're still thinking, and you're like, hey, So-Young, I need more than a minute to think about this. It's a big question. And so the reflection and the thinking part is part of that learning process. And if I were to ask you all, which I will, of course, at the end, how you might apply some of these principles, then you're committing to now moving from knowledge into action. And then as we share with each other, we're now learning from one another and getting inspired and going, oh, I really liked Julianne's answer. I think I'm going to leverage that as I think about interactive, high impact experiences. And so that's really the power of being able to do this together. And so some of you have already filled this poll out, but I just want to ask a question around, why do we create content in the first place? Are we trying to communicate? And what are the top reasons why you create content? And you don't have to pick just one, you can pick multiple answers here. So there's no right answer. You're not limited to one. I found myself checking all of them actually. So feel free to pick whatever are your primary motivations for creating content. Interesting. Impact, to train and develop, absolutely, to engage, to inspire, to communicate. And as you click on each one of these answers, I've included in some kind of thoughts, because the idea of being able to communicate, communication usually requires multi-dialogue, to engage through fun, through engagement, through gamification, but to have fun and interact. To train and develop could be a motivation. To entertain, this is actually a really fun one. I have a colleague who is on this call right now, and if I were to guess one of his motivations, he loves to entertain. So he puts jiffies and pop-ups, and he just creates in such a fun way that I'm like, wow, that's awesome, and you don't even feel like you're learning because it's so fun. Hi, Jit, I know you're here somewhere. And then to inspire, to impact. So we have many different motivations of why we create content, don't we? Now, but how do we deliver and design that content then? And traditionally, we spent about 70, 80, if not the majority of our time thinking about our content and making the best content. And we prioritize the message that I want to communicate and how I'm going to talk and communicate that out. So we spend a lot of time on our slides, our images, our points, and we spend a lot of our energy. And then it's time to speak or present or share. And we've kind of run out of time to think about really the impact we're going to have and the experience of our audience as they participate and engage with us. And so we think we have an opportunity to really start to shift the focus of our energy from just the content creation or the content part, but into the impact part of that content and why we create the content in the first place. So if our objective is really to inspire, to train and develop, then what are the skills that they need, and how are they going to take the content that I've created and be able to practice and apply it? Because as we all know, skills come from the application of knowledge, not just knowing things. Like I can know the theory of snowboarding, but I tell you, the moment I get on that slope, the theory is not that helpful. What's going to be helpful is going down and falling on my butt, literally multiple times, practicing it, getting wet, tumbling, falling, feeling embarrassed, feeling silly, before I'm able to develop and apply those skills and learn. And so that's, whether it's snowboarding or something a bit more high in leadership or, or behavior change, I think it's the same principles. And so unfortunately, as all of us know, and I think part of why I imagine some of us are here is that those needs that we just all shared have largely been ignored in the tools that we've been given to create those experiences. So in order to create these high impact experiences, we've had to use, on average, 6 to 8 different pieces of software: SurveyMonkey, polls, Zoom breakouts, emails, Mentimeter, SurveyMonkey, right? I think we've all been there. We've used multiple tools to try to piece together, Post-it notes. We're doing our best, right? And high five to everyone in the room, right? Because I think we've all tried to create these high impact experiences in very creative ways. And it takes us a long time to do that and invested a lot. And a lot of times we don't have the time or the resources to do that. And so the tools that we have at our disposal to really think about the design of these high impact experiences have been very, very limited. So it's either really expensive and very time consuming to do that, or it's just not that high impact. And we're giving tools like PowerPoint, and nothing against PowerPoint, but it has been around for 40 years, and Google Slides is an evolution of PowerPoint, but it's still primarily the same interaction modality. It is a bit better because you can collaborate now with other creators, but the modality is still pretty much still the one way. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, podcast are all primarily one-way communication tools. Interesting, isn't it? Because we keep evolving our technologies, but the modality of how we communicate has not evolved. And so I want to challenge everyone, today as we kick off today's Create, to think differently about how we're designing and thinking about the way we create content, because it is possible now. It wasn't before, but one of the reasons why I founded this company was because I had the same pain that I think many of you have, the desire to really have impact, but frustrated with the lack of tools that were designed for that impact. And so, we want to empower all of you, because all of you here today are creators. And I often hear people say, I'm not a creator, I'm not a creator. Well, how many of you use Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, or write an email, or speak, or or create a YouTube video, or you've done a podcast before, or you've created a Google slide deck? You're a creator, you create content. Whether it's simple for a team internal use or for external, we all create content. That's part of what we do, right? And so as content creators, if we were to apply some of the principles of instructional design, and we're just going to call it learn by doing, which is not just the know part, but the think, apply, share, we can dramatically evolve and elevate the impact that we're having. And so another kind of question, reflection, and what if it were possible to bring content to life? What if it were possible to take a conference that was traditionally one way and make it living? What if it was possible to make a book and make it come alive and make it a living book? And so here are some examples, and you can feel free to click on any of these below on maybe things that you would love to see come alive, whether it's living books, where the book is interactive and social. We've had 12 authors already start to Gnowbify their books and bring it to life. Very, very powerful. Living conferences, which you're all going to experience today, so it stays alive. Living presentations, which is what I'm doing right now. Living training programs, living meetings, living processes, because God only knows that processes don't stay the same. The moment you create them, they change, those darn things, and the SOPs keep evolving. How do you stay engaged with your teams as you're even communicating things as, like operations or process? So this whole idea of being able to keep things alive, which is actually quite human and it's very natural, and recognizing that is the norm, as opposed to a static piece of content. And then how might we think about the way that we design that, understanding that that is the more natural way that content actually works and how we engage with content. And so as I wrap up my keynote today, or just my opening and welcome to all of you, I'd like to just pause, of course, on the apply part, because I can't just stop and think. But what do you think about content creation now? How is this very brief interaction and experience maybe challenged you or reinforced what you already think about content creation? And how would you like to design more experiential, high impact experiences? Please share, what your perspectives are. And it could be, you know what, this is totally reinforced exactly what I've thought, and I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm happy to continue. It could be, wow, it's true. I don't really spend that much time thinking about the impact and the delivery. I spend more time on my content. I'm so obsessed with the content I'm creating, I don't have time. So I'm curious to kind of get your perspectives on this. I will do this later. And I'm curious to know what you guys think. Hi, Jason. Hi, Sam. I love seeing the comments. And so I do encourage all of you, even after, because there will be a lot of content we don't cover, to go back and then spend time reflecting more deeply with the content. Oh, I love this. Okay, Audrey, excited to learn a new way. Okay. To recreate this experience, Audrey, awesome. And I saw Audrey's comment even before the conference started, which I loved, because she was talking about learning how to do this for her audiences. So, so hopefully, we'll be able to cover that. Oh, I see a long one, Jeff. Okay. Training process with an external non-LMS. We are able to take questions, but in a constant search to find ways to bring more engagement. Yeah, absolutely. To figure out how you can take that content, bring it to life, get people to give them little tasks to apply on the job. So one of the interesting things is, imagine if I, doing any kind of content, and one of the things that we might ask you as a task is now start creating. So then you're encouraging people to take that knowledge and apply that. And I think you will definitely have an opportunity in Create Today to apply and try and do things, which is where the learning will really stick and it becomes part of your being. For those of you who don't know, Gnowbe stands for Grow Knowledge into Being, and that comes from doing and applying. So super excited to journey with you guys today with our team. So as we wrap it up, I just want to encourage all of you to get excited for what's going to come, and and how excited are all of you now to try a new way of creating content or reinforce what you may have already been doing today. I'm super excited. I'm always excited about creating interactive stuff. And so we look forward to continuing this conversation and dialogue. And we look forward to learning with you and from you, because this experience, and as adults, we're professionals and we're practitioners. No one of us has all the answers. So the power and the journey is to collaborate, to share, and to learn from one another so that we can constantly move this needle forward. So with that, welcome to Create 2023. I wish you all an awesome day with some amazing speakers. Be inspired, challenge each other, question, and have fun. Thank you very much.